So then Bello comes in. The mom asks if he's ever been married, if Bello's ever been married or has any kids. Bello says he has a 14, um, was it 14-month-old? So the mom was, taken aback by that, and I said, "If you're taken aback by that, did you ask Darius how many kids he has?" But they didn't show that, so I don't know if she asked him. I'm assuming she did, because 'cause I'm like, that should have been a come up, like, "Okay, yeah, let's go with him, he got 1 versus 4." So she wasn't really, you could tell she was like, wait, she was doing the math. And he was like, well, technically is 9 months to be pregnant. So pretty much about 4 years. I was like, no, no, Bello. It's still too soon for you to be out here on this show. What is up, y'all? Hope y'all are doing well, and welcome back to another episode of Many Thoughts with Dr. T. Today we are doing Ready to Love season 11, episode 12. Um, y'all know what? Let me start over because I gotta get myself a hand clap. Welcome. All right, hope y'all are doing well. Hope you are not snowed in, or maybe you're happy you're snowed in. I don't know. But let's get right to it. So the show picks up at the brunch. So this is the last supper, the last brunch for all of the singles. And the assignment this week is for the men to meet the ladies' families. So they get the assignment for Tommy, and then the cast is just reflecting about their time in the process, right? So then Ashley asked Darius if he would do it all over again. And Darius says no, because it was hard to juggle 10 different people. And then out of nowhere, right? Vince pops up because remember, the end of last show, we learned that Ashley has been pillow talking to Vince. Okay. I don't know why. But so Vince out of nowhere, nobody asked him. Darius says, nah, it's hard to juggle 10 people. I probably wouldn't do it again. So then Vince says, yeah, but you didn't have to juggle 10 people. Like nobody told you to juggle all 10. And then Darius explains that what he was trying to say, like, obviously, but I was trying to get to know everybody. Like, that's a part of it, to try to get to know the ladies, the other 10 ladies. But he repeats that, it was a beautiful experience and all that. It was a lot. So then Vince wouldn't let it go. So Vince says, you mean it's a beautiful experience, but you wouldn't do it again. And again, we're all like, okay, what's happening here? And it was just weird. Vince just kept butting in on Darius. He wasn't gonna let it go. He was making a mountain out of a molehill. And then Vince said, well, I thought she was asking, would you do everything the second time? Not would you do everything again? And I was like, Vince, what are you talking about? Because that's the same thing. So now I'm confused. But anyway, Darius says that he stands on business. He said what he said. He's not gonna repeat himself. It is what it is. And so they had this whole thing going, and I couldn't help but think, was this something to do with the whole Ashley thing, right? Like maybe he feels like he has to protect her or something. It was very, very weird. Um, and then he was like, "Oh, it's cool, it's cool. You just didn't understand. You just didn't understand." Kind of like belittling Darius. So I wasn't feeling that. Darius like, "I did understand it perfectly, and I answered how I answered." So then they move off of that. So then Vince asks what he wants everybody to go around and say something that they heard about themselves through the grapevine that surprised them. So Ashley says she heard that she was called a foodie call. Never heard that. Never, ever heard that in my life. I don't know if Cardi made that up. Maybe y'all have heard that. But she says she's rather be called that than a booty call. Okay. So Vince says that was said in confidence and shouldn't have been repeated back to her. So again, this is another jab we're guessing at Darius because Darius was hot about that. So then they got into a whole back and forth because Darius is like, I mean, if you talking about me, just say you talking about me. And then Darius is pretty much like, can we move along? Like, why is this pick on Darius time? Like, can we see what everybody else has to say? Why does Vince have the microphone? Um, but yeah, I just thought that Vince seemed to care a whole lot about Darius all of a sudden. I hadn't seen them have a rift before Ashley allegedly was confided in him. Um, so yeah, I was like, I don't know, I guess he just felt like a protector for Ashley is what I was thinking. And then if I was Donna, I would have been like, "Why are you fighting so hard for Ashley?" I felt a little way about that. So, um, and this was weird too. So the way I perceived it, and maybe I was wrong. I perceived it like I just said. Ashley asks a question. Darius skirts around the question, and Vince was like, "Well, wait, that's not what she said. Like, why would you not do it again?" Like, I thought that Vince was taking up for Ashley. That's how I perceived it. And so when we get in so after this scene is over, we get to Ashley's confessional. She's like, "Yeah, see, Vince always starting stuff. He a snitch. He been doing this the whole time." And y'all, I was totally confused. I was completely I was like, "What? That's not how I took that at all." She's like, "See, Darius always got my back. He always come for me. Yeah, he said on business about me." I Y'all let me know what y'all think. I completely seen it a different way than that. So I was like, "Okay, girl." I thought Darius played her. I mean, that's just like let's just say if my husband was like, "Yeah, Tanisha, she's super cool, but if I had to do it all over again, I would." Like, that's messed up to say, ain't it? I thought that was messed up what Darius said. Maybe he meant it in a different way. Cause I'm like, if Ashley's your connection, that's who you end up with. So for you to say, like, "Oh, yeah, if I had to do this all over again, I wouldn't." I kinda took it as a slap in the face, like, dang. Cause I would have been like, this was a really tough process, but, if I had to do it all over again, knowing that I would end up with Ashley, I would do it all over again. Like, that's what I would have said. I wouldn't have been like, "Oh, no, I wouldn't have did it." I'm like, "Dang, if I was Ashley, I would have been hurt," which is that's what I thought was happening, and I thought Vince had took up, but I was like, "Okay, maybe I'm confusion." Okay. So then we move on to so again, the assignment is for the men to meet the ladies' families. And so then we move on to Dominique and Bello. So let me get them pulled up here. And Dominique invites her parents. And y'all, is it just me or I just think that this is a game show. I don't think this is serious. Um I wouldn't invite like, I think marriage and dating is I think inviting your parents, that's pretty serious. Like, Imma invite a cousin or a brother or sister. I wouldn't involve my parents in this. You know what I'm saying? This, like, I'm not saying it's foolish, but this game show type of thing, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. And I was about to say, if my sons invited me on a national TV game show, somebody they met in 5 weeks, I don't know if I would go, y'all. I'm sorry. I just take it serious. I don't think it's a game. I know people meet people different ways, but you got me on a show, and I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, wait, okay. Was that a tangent? That was a tangent. Okay. This is a tangent. Okay. So Dominique and Bello. So she brings her parents. And the dad says he has concerns since I guess he just recently found out that Bello was a Muslim. So, because I know prior to she was like, "Oh, my daddy loved him," and da da da. I guess that was before he had found out that Bello was a Muslim. Her dad is a pastor. Okay, so Bello said he feels like religion is just a guideline on how we live our lives. He got his charismatic thing that he does, And then, it was hilarious because this is so me. I'm so keep the peace. Let's change the subject. Let's smooth it out. And that's what mama was on the scene. She was like, yeah, because, everybody mess up, everybody do stuff, and it just is what it is. And yeah. And so the mama just, I guess before it turned into something, she just kind of smoothed it out. Was like, oh yeah, you cool. You do your thing. Ultimately, it's up to her. She got to live with you, not us. Um, and then Bella was like, "Okay, I gotta leave." So I don't know what was going on with production. I was like, "Why did we get like 10 seconds of that date?" Like that's all it was. After that, he left, and so like I said, y'all, I don't think this is going to work. It never works. It's rare, rare, rare. Two people have two different religions. I don't even know why you would try that. Um, and don't forget, y'all remember Dominique's friend is a Muslim, and she was like, "Listen, I'm trying to tell you, he's gonna want you to convert. He might be playing it cool now, but he's gonna want you to convert." And I feel like, and I don't know, yeah, I'm making this up, but I feel like that might be like what they do. Like if you see a young lady that you like and she's not a Muslim, they probably tell the guys like, "Don't turn her off," and be like, "Well, you gotta convert." They probably tell them like, just tell her it's cool, we'll figure it out. And then probably, but the end game, I'm sure, is to eventually convert the person, is what I'm thinking. And so her friend already told her what it was gonna be. Um, so yeah, I don't think they're gonna work. And that's all it was from that date. I don't know why they didn't give us more. It was just that little storyline and then it was off. Okay, so then we move over to Ashley and Darius. So Ashley brings her little brother, and Ashley's brother asks Darius what's a red flag that he might have to watch out for. And then Darius, just like Bello, gets into this whole charismatic, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. And really it's just about, I promise you, you cannot convince me he did not put communication styles in ChatGPT. I know he did. Because like they said, he said it like 10 times. Everything Darius says, y'all go back to all of the episodes. He gonna say one or two things. He gonna say communication, or he gonna say some like, "You're so beautiful," but it's deeper than that. It's your soul. You know what I'm saying? It's your soul. Like you just genuine. You authentic. Like that's his thing. He always talking about the soul. Okay, it's gonna be the soul. It's gonna be communication. That's all he got. So anyway, he says communication styles like 10 times. Um, And I hate to say it, this relationship is not gonna work too. Communication is like the foundation of a relationship. Duh. If you're dating and y'all can't get communication down pat, y'all can't get on the same track, I don't know how you think you're about to have a successful relationship, not less marriage. So I'm not sure what they're thinking because they both admit that that's a huge problem for them. I think the age has a lot to do with it too. He's 40, she's in her early 30s. Ah, I think he has probably greater expectations for her, and she's still trying to figure some things out. She doesn't want to be shamed along the way while she figures them out, or things she might not know yet. So Ashley's brother ultimately wasn't so on Darius. He didn't feel like Darius was giving straight answers. So and I concur. All right, so then we hop over to Donna and Vince. All right, so Donna and Vince. Let's see. So Donna invites her brother and her cousin. And y'all, why was her skirt so short? And it was the same thing on that other date with Vince. You know what I'm saying? Look, y'all see me. I'm always trying to be comfortable. You see what I'm saying? And I'll put on something cute, but I don't see how that's comfortable to sit down and your skirt is like, I mean, it wasn't even covering her thighs. And I want to say I'm a germaphobe, but I don't know. Basically, okay, so this is what I do. When I don't ever wear my outside clothes in my house. Like if I go somewhere, I take my clothes off immediately. Like I never sit on my couches with my outside clothes. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's a germaphobe or not. But and definitely like when I go to restaurants, I do not want my flesh, my bare flesh touching that chair. I don't know. It was a lot. Anyway, okay, I'm
This
back.
is a tangent.
Okay, so, um they got I love sports, so this was a fun conversation to me. So they got into it and, they asked him what he was passionate about, and Vince says health and fitness and basketball, and he says he likes to talk really dirty on the court, but it's all love afterwards, and the brother says, "You know, you can learn a lot about a person from, basketball." So he was like, "I don't know if that's a good thing," like and then he asked him if he cherry picks, and, and basically cherry picking is when you don't get back on defense, right? So your whole team is on defense, but you kinda stay up the court a little bit. So as soon as let's say that team misses, they get the rebound, they throw it up to you, you already down there, boom, you know what I'm saying? It's kinda frowned upon because you need to be playing defense like everybody else. Most people that do that, they just trying to get a lot of points and they all for self. So that's what the analogy they were trying to make. So Vince was like, "Nah, I don't do that. You know, I always play defense." They were like, "Oh, okay, you got integrity." So, at least I thought that was funny. I like sports and whatnot, so I thought that was cool. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I thought that was cool. Alright, so then they get and they start talking about, the concerns about the whole timeline thing, and they asked her brother and cousin what they think. So the brother said so because remember Donna is trying to get married in 1 year, okay? I think that's a terrible idea, but that's what she wants. The brother says with so many variables, you kinda need to be flexible, but the cousin was gonna stand beside her, okay? So he was standing beside Donna and was like, "Nah, I need to be a time limit." So they asked Vince, like, "How long are you talking? Like, how long would it take?" And look, Vince got into that glitch he gets into. He's like, it depends, because you know, he loves a good debate. He loves it. So that's all I needed to say. He was revving himself up, but the cousin did a good job of deflecting. He was like, "I mean, it's gonna take you 5 years, and you can put on a front for 5 years, then you deserve an Academy Award." So they all started laughing about that. So they kinda broke the tension because Vince, he was going there. He couldn't wait. Um, but yeah, another relationship, y'all, that I do not think is going to work. There's no way that Vince is going to get engaged to Donna in a year. She's wasting her time. She's setting herself up for failure. Like I said, whether it's with Vince or whoever else, that's just too quick to know somebody. And then also, I don't know of any man that would want that pressure. So I think she's gonna have a hard time. You 38, you demanding to get engaged in a year. It's a lot. Now don't get me wrong, like I said, I agree there needs to be a time limit. I think, 3 years at the max. Okay, so you know what's happening after 3 years. I think 2.5 to 3 is the sweet spot, I think, but 1 year is real, real crazy. Alright, so let's move on to Ashante, Bello, and Darius. So Ashante, again, I don't understand inviting your parents because this is not real, but whatever. So she invites her mom and her stepfather. And I felt sad for Shantae because I'm like, neither of these guys want her for real. She's a backup option for both of them. But and they're both such smooth talkers. I just wanted to see how this dynamic was gonna work. So Darius starts off, giving the same line he always gives. How he can see past the beauty and it's her heart, it's the soul. That's what I like about her. So he gives his standard line. And then he also has to always throw something in there about God. I told y'all, be wary about that. When men meet, um, when men are meeting your mother and father, especially your mom, and they throw a little God thing out there because they know the mom's gonna eat it up. So Darius definitely did that because we be praying. I was like, but anyway, yeah, maybe they do. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know Darius, but maybe they do. Um, so then Bello comes in. The mom asks if he's ever been married, if Bello's ever been married or has any kids. Bello says he has a 14, um, was it 14-month-old? So the mom was taken aback by that. And I said, if you're taken aback by that, did you ask Darius how many kids he has? But they didn't show that, so I don't know if she asked him. I'm assuming she did, because 'cause I'm like, that should have been a come up, like, "Okay, yeah, let's go with him, he got 1 versus 4." So she wasn't really you could tell she was like, wait, she was doing the math. And he was like, well, technically is 9 months to be pregnant, so pretty much about 4 years. I was like, no, no, Bello. It's still too soon for you to be out here on this show. So I agree with the mom. Then the mom asked about their 3-year plans. Darius talks about wanting to settle down and have a family, while Bello really focused on his career goals and these properties and all that. So I think he was trying to impress them, like pretty much say, like, I know I got one strike against me with the baby, but I'm rich. That's pretty much what he was trying to do. And say, I got, well, I don't know, rich, but pretty much I got money. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to be like, well, I have 33 properties and I think they were kind of turned off by that. And, ultimately, I love how her parents seen right through both of them because they are both such smooth talkers. So I was concerned. And to Shantae's point, I think they both were kinda uncharacteristically, off their game a little bit. So I was surprised that they weren't smoozing as much as they do. Um So yeah, the parents were on it. They said they really didn't like either guy. I agree. This is another relationship that is not going to work. So I was like, dang, are we gonna have any successful relationships this season? Because I didn't think any of them. So now it's down to predictions. I said I thought that Bella was gonna choose Dominique and that Dominique would choose him back. Okay. I did not think any of the guys would choose Ashante. um, I did not think that Vince would choose Donna because of that timeline. I did feel that Donna would choose Vince. I didn't know who was gonna get to go first or whatever, but I didn't think Vince was gonna choose Donna in the end. I thought that Darius would choose Ashley, but I didn't think that she would choose him. I just thought maybe she was able to see his true colors over these last couple of weeks. So those were my predictions. So let's get into it and see what actually happened. Alright, so Ashante, Darius, and Bello. Um, and I don't know, I thought this was the first time they've ever done this. I could be wrong, but I don't ever remember it being, 2 guys and a woman like that. Maybe they have, but I thought normally you, like, go to one person, then go to the other person. But anyway, they got Darius and Bello come at the same time, and they actually let Ashley talk first, so that's not how I seen it at all. So she ended up choosing neither. Yeah, so I was like, "Good job, Ashante, very, very good." So she didn't even try to play herself, she knew what it was. She could see through all of it because at the end, I was like, "Oh, no, she might be going for Bello." But, but yeah, she didn't choose either of them. Um, I thought this was a yeah, and I was like, "Ashante, you need to call Steven." But anyway, I thought this was a poor job by production. I just thought this let them off the hook. So she says, "I don't want either of you," and then boom, that storyline's dead. Like, what I wanted to see if I wanted to see, and I know this is messed up because I'm glad that the woman got to choose, but I really wanted to see what the men were gonna do. Like, I wanted to see Bello and then a shot of Dominique and a shot of Ashante, and we're like, "Oh, shoot, what he gonna do?" I wanted to see Darius, and I wanted to see a shot of Ashley and a shot of Ashante, and it's like, "Oh, okay, what," you know what I'm saying? I thought that was more of the drama, but just having them all 3, and she like, "Yeah, I don't want either one of y'all." I was like, "Alright." Um so then Vince and Donna. So again, I did not think Vince was gonna choose Donna. Um, but I was very surprised. So Vince said if she was willing to be more flexible with her timeline, then he would choose her. Um, and it's like Donna chooses him back, so I am happy for them. But I just thought the ultimatum made it weird. Like, I choose you if you do X, Y, and Z. You cool with that? And I thought she was gonna be like, "I don't know." She was like, "Okay." So I don't know, it's like, "Donna, what is it?" Like, Are you stuck on this 1-year timeline? Are you not? I don't know. So yeah, I was surprised about that. I was surprised about that, but congratulations to them. All right. So then it was time for Dominic and Bello. I was pretty sure they were going to choose each other. Um, and I just want to say, first of all, they both looked amazing. Okay. They were both giving all the looks. And so that was quick. Bello chooses Dominique, she chooses him. So that was that. So congratulations to them. Okay. And then Ashley and Darius. So here, I told y'all, Darius again. See, I like speaking to your soul. Like, oh my God. He chooses Ashley. Okay, because I didn't know, like with the all the hiccups, I didn't know. He ended up choosing her after he had to give his little spiel about the soul. Ashley says she feels like Darius is always being critical. Um, and she just kind of had a little breakdown. And, she says she's been in spiritual warfare classes, therapy, and she not trying to backslide out here, man. I just thought that was funny. I said, not backslide. I said, is it the 90s? That was funny. But so she is like crying and all this stuff. And I thought she should have chose herself. That was my prediction that Darius would choose her, but she would choose herself. But in the end, she chose him. So I don't know how you can say all this stuff. Like you don't want to be criticized. The communication is bad. I don't want to go backwards, but I choose you. So that was confusing to me. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna work, but I just thought that was confusing. I mean, if somebody's gonna choose me, I want them to be happy. You see what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. So get myself choked up. I want the person to be happy. I want them to be like, "Oh my god, yes!" Like Dominic and Bello. Like I knew you was my person. I knew you was my person. I know we went through a little thing here and there, but we made it out. But if there's somebody like, I just don't want to mess up. I don't like, okay, it's cool. Let's just chill and let's just it's like, dang, is that how it works? You do all that, but then you choose them? I don't know. So, congratulations to them, I guess. So, yeah, y'all, this might be a record. I'm not sure, but we had 3 couples, Dominique and Bello, Vince and Donna, and Ashley and, Darius. Now, I don't think any of them are going to result in a serious relationships or marriage, okay? I just don't. Um But hey, to each his own. So happy for the couples on the show. I mean, you already gonna see next week with the reunion. I already knew. I told y'all, Bello, look, what did I tell y'all, man? He be playing games. I'm telling y'all, anybody that got this whole they so put together type of thing. I'm saying if you a man, you over 35, you just so put together, but you ain't never been married. And it's just like, well, what's the problem? Why you ain't been married if you got it so put together? What's happening? So I clocked him from the beginning and I clocked Darius. Something gonna be up with Darius too. Clock it. So, but anyway, thank you guys for watching the reviews with me. It has been real. Imma be honest with y'all, I don't even know if Imma do the reunion, I'm so sorry. But yeah, it's been cool. This was a pretty good season. It was a pretty good season. Like I said, I really hope they will go back to having it, remember they had that retreat where they had everybody together? I think that was the best one, because that way we were able to see everything all the time. Sometimes on this show, we're missing so much, so many pieces because, they're living their regular lives and cameras can't be everywhere. So, I wish they would explore that one more time and see how that is. But anyway, y'all be good, and I will catch y'all soon.